When I was up here this morning, I was putting the Bible, the book and the verse where I was going to be coming from, and it wasn't so much I was coming from this versus what God had already said to me for the training session, and then I found out that this is where that came from. But as I said TS2, which I said stood for training session 2, but then here being in Montgomery, I thought about Trenton State and Troy State. So we are in class and we are in training on this morning, and I just I'm glad to see everybody. It's a good thing. Today we're going to deal with being able to take care of ourselves. And that's just what he said. He said, take care of yourself. And when he said, take care of yourselves, then you automatically go to the place of, who is he talking to? Me. He's talking to you. You take care of yourself. I didn't look at it this way, but step 9, reinvent yourself. One thing God has always done with me, down through my years, knowing him and delivering, giving, teaching, preaching, whatever it was, he's always given me a play on word. In order to be able to reinvent yourself, you're going to have to vent. If you don't vent, you'll never be able to reign. You got to be able to vent. Let what's in you, you have to go to that place where all of the things from the past come into your present. Some people like say, well, you know what, it's a bad thing for your past to come into your presence. No, because it's going to take your past coming into your presence in order to cause you to progress. You're going to have to vet. And I'm so glad about consecration, because consecration gives you a partner. It gives you an accountability partner. Somebody that you can vent to. Somebody that you can tell what's going on the inside when you don't think you can tell anybody. But it's going to allow you, whenever you're able to vent, then you'll be able to reign. You'll be able to get past some things. You'll be able to come to the place where you can take care of who? Yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself over today. I was asking God to, I was praying in consecration, during my consecration. I want to tell you on this morning, sincerely and seriously, whether you believe it or not, consecration really do work. The first thing that we heard Mother come in, and we heard what Mother said that the Lord spoke, because her dream, Prophet like to say, he tells me, he said, your Martin Luther is waking up. You know, your dreams, you know, it's waking up. And I'm so thankful for what I heard her say, and then how he came up and how he ranked everything. He ranked the dream. He gave us everything that we needed to know from what it was, her experience of it was. But I want to tell you this morning, consecration really do work. And God is doing things, good things to the believers, because them that, you know, for them that are in consecration. Where you are in it, when you started it, it's up to you. Where you could be in it is probably further than where you are at this time. But all it takes is a settling in you first to say that, you know what, I'm sincere. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to do it for form or fashion. I'm not going to do it because I was told to do it. I'm going to do it because, one, I believe. And I was told that consecration was going to shake the nation. So I wanted to first shake up in me. Shake me. Shake me into what it is I'm supposed to be. Shake me. Put me in the place where I'm supposed to be. Whereas every day whenever I walk, I can know what steps I'm walking in. Whenever I talk, I can know where I am. Whenever I give, I can understand where I am in Him. Where I am in Him, because this is what this consecration does. It broadens your concept of who He has called you to be. And with that being said, I didn't understand this. Whenever you go to Matthew 21, verses 12 and 13. And then it's written in Matthew, it's written in Mark, and I even read it in Luke, a different version of it. But everybody want to talk about the parable of the fig tree. But the word said the parable of the barren fig tree. And that was, the Lord was like, the barren fig tree. And they want to come and see and say, I've often said, men, we are representations in the Word of God as trees. Men are depicted in the Word as trees. Well, Jesus and his disciples was one day walking, and when you read that, you'll find out that he saw way before he got to the fig tree, he had already seen the tree, but he only saw the leaves. And so many of us are covered today, and everybody can see just what you're wearing, but nobody understands or is able to see what's beneath. Right. And the beneath represents what's on the inside. But whenever Christ got to the tree, although the leaves was on the tree, I'm going to put this down. I feel like I'm going to shout. Although the leaves was on the tree, he already saw from afar off, and he already knew that there was no fruit. People see, we dress on the outside, but what's on the inside? There's got to be something that's already attached to us from the inside out, because you're going to have to be able to meet people, and you're going to have to be able to give people what they have need of. Yes. So whenever he got there, it said that he, look, the key to this whole thing is the reason why you got to be able to go into yourself, and you have to go into yourself, and you have to speak truth. You have to see truth. You have to recognize what this is that you're holding, that you're harboring, that you're keeping, that's keeping you from being able to just not look good on the outside, but to be able to have on the inside what's needed for your outside. I'm trying to get to the end of this thing, but you got to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. We want to talk all the time, and we want to keep what's going on the inside of us, and some of us like to be personal and we like to be private. Right. But guess what? If I was to ask you today, why did Christ go to Calvary? What did he go to Calvary for? He went there for all of our acts. It's okay. See, you're stopped in a place where about what you did, what you can't get over, what you remember, what they're saying. But he went there for those acts. He went to Calvary for the acts. And whenever you can confess, whenever you can take care of yourself in truth, whenever you can do that, then you can then begin to do the acts of whatever it takes to be able to help somebody else. You can't help nobody else if you can't help yourself first. You're no good for nobody else if you cannot take care of yourself first. You have people that deal with people that's sick, and they, from taking care of them for so long, they get to a place where they're tired out, they're worn down. And then sometimes, somebody have to go into them and then take them out to help them do something, for themselves to keep them going, because they realize that if they're not good for themselves, then they can't be good for anybody else. And you say, you know what, but I got so much. Let me tell you why Christ dealt with that tree. He dealt with the tree and he cursed it because it was not what it was supposed to always be. Your troubles and stuff don't come for what you did. It comes because you're not who he's called you to be. And he's using those things to work out of you what you have on the inside of you that you're covering up on the outside, making people think that everything's all right. But everything's not all right. You're not who he's called you to be. And that's all it's taken. It's taken you to be able to vent. You got to be able to get you an accountability partner if you don't have one. Get you somebody that you're not worried about telling your business if you tell them. You got to be, you know what? And then sometimes, seriously, since we were told that if the Lord is with you, he'll teach you how to behave wisely. Sometimes who you get, you may not think that that's the one because of what you know about them, but that may be the very one that you need.
That's right.
To be your accountability partner. Because then you'll be finding out that what you got to tell them and what they got to tell you, you'll be surprised.
Amen.
That y'all just might be the same.
Yes.
It's time out for people being able to recognize somebody else's wrong and what's wrong with them when it's time for you to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And if that means that he has to give me somebody that always running their mouth and talking and telling, I got to trust God that if he's leading me to that person for my accountability person, then God gonna put a rein on that mouth. He gonna make that mouth keep shut, you know, when it comes to me and whatever I've said to it. Because he understands that I need to take care of myself. He told us in the book of Jeremiah, he said, only acknowledge thine iniquity. Only deal with what's going on the inside of you. Because as long as you keep that locked up and suppressed, it keeps you suppressed in places that there is no forward movement. You can't go anywhere if you're not free to go. So today you need to free yourself. Free yourself from what's in yourself. Vent. And that way you'll be able to understand that, you know what's going on the inside of me, it don't have me, but I have control of it.
Yes.
I can speak to it. I can speak about it. I promise you this. The greatest thing that we have is truth.
Yes.
And he told us, he said that everybody has truth. And truth is on the inside. He said it's on the inward parts of us. And sometimes we won't let truth come up to come out that we are helped. But it's not until we can go in to where truth is about whatever it is that's on the inside, bring it up and out, then we'll be able to take care of ourselves. We'll be able to be not only good for me, but I'll be able to be good for somebody else. You'll be able to be good for somebody else. Reinvent yourself. You cannot, as we say, you cannot put, new wine in the old wineskins. You can't take this today and say, you know what, from the day on, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to do me. I'm going to become a new me. You can only become a new you in truth. If you're going to change, you're going to have to be truthful. And that's the only way that you can be true to your change, is if you are truthful. If you desire change, seriously, and just as we said, whenever you travel, whenever you go from day to day, place to place, whenever you leave, you'll be able to leave in expectation that there's something that's set out there before you in the day that's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for you. You cannot reinvent yourself if you don't vent. And that's step 9 in consecration. How can you reinvent something if you don't deal with what it is and have the understanding that there needs to be something different concerning it? How it is, how I am, this is not how I want to remain. So in order to be able to reinvent myself, I can get an accountability partner, which I have, and I can speak truth. They can hear truth. Then they can deal with me in truth. I can receive truth,
Yes.
and I can change.
Yes.
It's all about truth.
Yes.
Stop looking like everything's all right on the outside when you're just full of dead men bones on the inside.
Hallelujah.
You need to bring and allow the past to come in your presence. Let it sit in your presence. Because if it don't, and you face it, then it's going to prevent you from progressing. It's going to prevent you from forward movement. It's going to prevent you from going on. And everybody should want to be just what he said you are.
Yes.
He only dealt with the fig tree because when he got to it, it was not what he said it was. Things are going on in the lives of the believers to get us to be who he said we are.
Yes.
So,
Hallelujah.
when it comes to the tests, when it comes to the trials, when it comes to all of this, why do we don't buck against it? Welcome it, because it's coming to change us into who he said we are.
Yes.
And he's only dealing with us at the time because these things are coming to us at the time because we're not who we should be.
Yes.
So welcome, welcome it in truth. See it for what it is. So he speaks. And just as he did with Mother, he will speak.
Yes.
And whatsoever he say, don't question it, don't run to nobody, do it.
Yes.
Whatsoever you hear,
Yes.
do it.
Hallelujah.
Whatsoever you hear, you do it. And where is it going to be done? It's going to be done in the home.
Yes.
We will come back and we'll have testimonies, just as what Mother spoke of on this morning. You will have something to give, and we'll have something to take, and we can take that in, and then from that we can take it back into our home again. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
We'll help us one to another.
Mm-hmm.
We'll help us one to another. But if you continue to come in and you keep your mouth shut, then you don't give out anything that's able to be of help to somebody else. Sometimes everybody's always, as I started out, everybody looking for a word. Well, St. John 4, 41, 42. 1 Samuel 19, 1 Samuel 3. We heard this today. And we were able to see that if we would just take this, take it with us, take it into our home, work these steps of consecration. If you don't have a partner, I stress this like none other. If you don't have an accountability partner, you're not taking care of yourself. You won't be able to reinvent yourself. Because this is not a me, myself, and I thing. Not this consecration. And I promise you, I'm the one that can tell you this consecration really do work. God just has given me dreams, just like he gave them up. He'll give you dreams. And trust me, the understanding will come. And God is able, and he's freeing us. He's freeing us from what has latched hold to us, or either what we've latched hold to that kept us from being who he said we are. It's about who he's called us to be. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to remain in a place knowing that there's someplace else that I have to go. I end with this. When you pray and ask God for strength. Not just for your body, but for your mind.
Yes.
Because whenever your mind begin to shut down, you shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Ask God, God, strengthen my mind so that my faith will not only be able to be revived, but I can go from faith to faith. I can stay in belief. Strengthen my mind. Pray. Ask God for the strength for your mind. And I guarantee you that whenever you do these things, get you an accountability partner, work these steps in consecration, and see how God work on your behalf. See how He work on your behalf.
Yes.
Thank God for being able to come into a training center to hear what I need to take into my home. And I've always said, if you get serious with God, you get serious with this consecration. That's getting serious with God there. But you get serious with God, and I guarantee you, He'll get serious with you.
Yes.
But you play and you pussyfoot around, and you'll find yourself in a worse shape. You'll find yourself all messed up because you're double-minded.
Yes. Yes.
See, either you're going to do it or you're not. And I guarantee you, if you make up your mind to do it, it will be done unto you. Pray that your mind, God gives your mind the strength to continue in consecration, in obedience to His word. God bless you.